Whether it's fuel at the pumps, the state of our water companies, the energy bills we're paying, or the services we get from the banks, the government's been saying it's the regulators who should be ensuring a better deal for consumers. This man regulates the banks, and he's already told us he's looking into the rates passed on to savers.
We have taken action at the FCA with respect to our consumer duty. We'll in particular be looking at savings rates as well and cooperating with the other regulators.
And here's why there's a problem. The Bank of England's base rate is currently 5%. That's helped push the average rate on a 2-year mortgage to 6.4%. But the average easy access savings rate is just 2.4%. MPs now expect the regulator to end this practice.
Banks are paying measly rates to some of my constituents, and my constituents, I think, who are loyal customers of the banks, are being treated unfairly by their banks.
The banks are taking advantage?
In some cases, I think banks are taking advantage of people who've got used to not earning anything on their savings, really should be earning a higher rate now.
And later, she got to ask the Prime Minister if he'd back the campaign to improve the deal for savers.
What the Chancellor said was the issue needs to be resolved. I know he's met recently with the FCA and they've agreed to deliver better deals for savers by driving competition.
But can we rely on the banks, the regulators or even the government to deliver on this? Some have other advice.
Unfortunately, legislation or regulation to get them to put their rates up is very difficult. But I think that the pressure needs to come on from the political side. But we too, we consumers, if you're earning less than 4% in your savings account and you're free to move, ditch and switch, punish them in their pockets by taking away your custom.
Also today, average interest rates on 5-year mortgages went over 6%. There is a lot of economic pain around, and the ways to relieve it will only take us so far.
Andy, some critics are saying it's not going to be enough to ask banks to increase returns on savings. They're going to need to be ordered to do it. Do you think that's fair?
Yes, Labour, for instance, say that. Now, I asked Downing Street about this a couple of days ago, and they said legislating, passing new laws to really make that happen would take time and would be very difficult. So the government is saying they're going to stick with the existing method of doing this, which is to get the regulator, the Financial Conduct Authority, to really put the pressure on. Now, there is going to be a new kind of tool in the box for the Financial Conduct Authority at the end of this month, which is called Consumer Duty, which is an extra legal responsibility which will be on the banks to ensure that they really are providing the best value for consumers. But that is due to come through the regulator, not through new government legislation. That's the way the government wants to do it, but a lot of people are going to be watching and waiting to see if it really has an impact.
They certainly are. Andy, live in Westminster, thank you.